Well, hello YouTube, and welcome to another one of my vlog entries. I don't know if I should put this on the main channel or start moving my vlog entries into the vlog channel. I don't know how I'm supposed to do things. Kind of like the idea of having the vlogs in the main channel because that kind of updates you and lets you know a little bit about what's going on in my life. If anybody actually wanted to know any, that is, but so I'm in a bit of a quandary. You got my video not that long ago. It's titled Banished or Kicked Out. I don't remember what I titled. I think I said Banished on the thumbnail and Kicked Out in the description. Talking about how I've been kicked out of the house. Up until a few days ago, I'd been really resistant to the situation I found myself in. Initially, when I was told, I wasn't really told directly. When the lady that we live here with told my mom that she didn't want me in the house anymore, and I overheard that, my initial response would be just to ignore it, not to recognize her authority, and just stay in the house. My mother is a master of the guilt trip. A shameless plug here, I actually have a t-shirt for that. I don't want a guilt trip, I want a real vacation. I either have it on Spreadshirt or Teespring, but that's a saying that I came up with because my mom is so good at guilt tripping me. She's a master at that, and she wanted. And then with my dad, of course, not being in 100% best health. I mean, both of my parents have had health issues, health scares, and are still experiencing some trouble. And my mom was going on about how it stressed Dad out if there was conflict between Kim and myself, and so she asked me to go out to the RV for 2 weeks. And eventually I complied just to make her happy, and because, yeah, I'm a little worried about my dad too. I don't want him to have health issues. Well, then come to find out that these last 2 weeks Kim has hardly even been here, so it wouldn't have made a darn difference. And then to find out again something else, that my own mother didn't inform me. She conspired with the grandmother of the lady the mother of the lady we live with, the grandmother of the daughters, to not tell me that the other daughter got COVID and was diagnosed positive. I've been out in the motorhome the whole time, so I guess it didn't matter to me. And I guess they just thought I'd overreact and do something like I did before. But I'm done with that. I'm done acting on partial, incomplete, I don't have all the facts type information. I don't want to go through this type of crap again. But I can't help but feel a little bit betrayed by my folks. A little bit used, a little bit abused, a little bit mistreated, a little bit disrespected, and a bunch of other feelings associated with that. On the plus side, I've been able to make the best use possible of my time out in the motorhome. I've actually stopped resisting being out here, and a couple of days ago started putting my nose really to the grindstone, starting to get to work on stuff, getting into a swing of things, getting into a routine, making it work out here. And now I'm thinking the most I might do is I might just come into the house to watch TV with my mom or my dad or both in the evenings a little bit. But I'm kind of liking the alone time and the privacy and the work time. I'm able to make it work out here. I haven't had any major invasions of pests. Like, we've got little sugar ants running around out there. I haven't had any of those bothering me yet. We had mice that were in here. They're not in here because I don't keep any food lying around. I have everything locked up or in the fridge. Maybe it has been super cold, and I've got propane when it does get cold, so it does make a little noise when trying to do a video, but I do have that option, so that's available. I made the TV work. I don't have good sound to listen to any music or to do any movies or anything, but maybe I'll be able to get a sound bar one of these days. Who knows? I might be able to make that even work. It's been able to function so far. Now my mom wants to do this clear the air kind of session. She wants me to apologize to the mother, the lady that we live with, the mother, and then her eldest daughter for the things that I have said. Now there's a whole bunch of I kept pictures of the text messages, but I have since deleted the lady from my contacts. I would be tempted to talk to her again. So I have those images available. I'm not going to make them public right at the moment. I have a friend who I've shared them with, and that's probably about as far as I go with that. But it shows basically everything that I said. And honestly, I don't know what I can apologize for. I got to be honest about that. I don't know what I can apologize for. In my mind, I was taking the threat of COVID seriously. I thought that this was a serious life-threatening disease, that it was killing people, and I thought that people that are diagnosed positive with it should be staying home and quarantining, because how else is anybody, I mean, there's nothing else we can do to protect people other than keep them separate from us. If you go to, as far as I know, if you go to a hospital or whatever and there's an infectious disease, they seal that area of the hospital up. I think they even have it set up so that the disease can't spread throughout the hospital. I could be wrong on that, don't quote me, but that's what we do. That's all we really know to do when we're dealing with something like this. But I talked to a friend tonight and I asked for advice as to how I'm supposed to proceed with this whole apology clear the air thing. I don't want to apologize if my heart's not in it. If I'm going to apologize, it's got to be genuine. I've got to genuinely want to do so, and my heart's got to be in it, or it's not going to be genuine. I want to be honest, and truthful about that and about my feelings. And right now, I don't really feel very apologetic, to be perfectly honest. And my friends telling me that I'm taking this COVID, basically saying, although this is not his exact words, that I'm taking the COVID thing too seriously. That there's political and government motivations going on, and then he pointed me to a Teal Swan video. I didn't even know she'd done a video that even remotely had anything to do with COVID, or I would have watched it, but apparently she did a video on COVID, and wasn't really directly addressing COVID, kind of skirting around it, but she was pointing out that more people die from starvation, obesity, I don't know, more people die from it. She was showing this graph where all these people were dying from obesity and starving and all these other things, and I don't know where COVID, shouldn't have that on the graph where it would fall in there, but we don't make a big deal out of any of that stuff, and that's a fair point. We don't. And those are bigger issues. More people are dying. I mean, what is it, 8,000 people a day dying from starvation, 7,000 or 6,000 from obesity or something like that? I'm obese. I know all about the obesity, although I guess I'm not as obese as some people who are in that kind of a health risk. I'm bad, but I ain't that bad, thankfully. So that makes me wonder, maybe I didn't need to be serious about it. Maybe it's not a big deal. I thought I was protecting people that were being exposed, that would be exposed to it by this oldest daughter running around breaking quarantine and running around downtown, even though she was diagnosed positive with COVID. She was running around downtown. She did it twice, just a couple of days in or maybe a week into her quarantine period. And then I come to find out the youngest daughter had it. She was running around. They're both going to work and going downtown stuff. The youngest daughter I don't think is doing that as much as the oldest. I think she was trying to stay home more. I did confront the eldest daughter, and I did go up to her when she got home once, and I told her she shouldn't be going anywhere. She's diagnosed with positive with COVID. She should be staying home and quarantining. And I guess her grandfather, the father of the lady we live with, thought that I might be threatening, possibly. He didn't know for sure. He doesn't know me that well. I'm not threatening. I'm a guy that if you show me a spider that everybody's running away from and want to squish, I'm going to find a cup and put it in there and take it outside. I'm not going to hurt anybody. I haven't been in a fight, except some scuffles with my brother in my entire life. I don't know that I ever would even have the capacity to hurt somebody. I was just trying to make a point to her that she needed to stay home until she was cleared of had a positive test, or not a negative test. She was not tested positive for COVID. That's what I was trying to do. And the interpretation of her mother was that I was blocking her from entering the house, which makes absolutely no sense, because the last thing I would want to do is have her leave the house. Why would I block her from entering the house? And then her mother thought that I was trying to say that the girls, her daughters, couldn't come. They live in an upstairs. It's a split-level type of deal, so they have a living room, 3 bedrooms, and a bathroom upstairs. She thought I was saying they couldn't come downstairs. We have to share a kitchen in the house. And it did come off that way. I used the wrong word. That isn't what I meant at all. I didn't mean that they had to be isolated. I wasn't trying to order anybody around to be isolated upstairs. That was not what I meant to do or even intended. But that's how she took it. And so they've been trying to isolate upstairs. Anyway, the gist of it is, after the text messages we had back and forth, I gave some pretty sharp words, some pretty strong examples. One of which was, if you had a drunk person, you had a drunk friend, you take away their keys. You wouldn't let them drive home because they're a risk to themselves and others if they get in a car. And it was an allegory or a way to demonstrate or make a point about the whole COVID thing. I was trying to tell her she should take away the keys from her daughter, but she's like, I can't do that. She says that her daughter is 19. I don't think she's over 18 or 17. I don't know what her actual age is. I'm not even sure her mom does, because her mom keeps saying she's 17, then she's 19, and she raised her for 15 years, and I don't even have any of the facts as to what her actual age is. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But that was just one of the examples. She got pissed off at me because of what I said. I did overstep. I can admit and apologize for that much. That much I know. I did overstep. So she got pissed off at me, and that's how I got kicked out here. But here's the thing. Her first response to me, when I first texted her, I just laid out the facts. Your daughter broke quarantine and left the house. That's basically, not word for word, but pretty close to what I said. There was no intimations of anything else. Her response was, and I'm roughly quoting this, but it was basically, well, there's nothing I can do. Now, what I come to find out she meant was, because she wasn't at the house at the time, she had left the house. She wasn't even around to keep an eye on things. She just left. She meant that she was out of the house, so there's nothing she could do. I thought she was intimating that there's nothing she could do, and her attitude was she wasn't going to do anything about it. It didn't matter. That was my interpretation of her statement. That's how it came across to me, the way it was said, the words that she used. But if she had replied instead, stating quite simply, I'm on it, I'm handling it, it's none of your business, anything along those lines. Now, it's none of your business would have led to a different conversation, but if she could at the very least, if she could have just said that I'm handling it, or I'm on it, or I got this under control, or I'm taking care of it, or something along that line, even if she's not obligated to, if she could have at least said that, then there would have been nothing else said by me. My mouth would have been, my fingers typing would have been sealed. I wouldn't have said a darn thing. That's all she had to do, is communicate that she was handling it. As far as I'm concerned, she's the mom, and that's what I told her in my text her. She's the mom, it's her daughter, it's her responsibility. And if she had told me that she was handling it, or taking care of it, or knew about it, or whatever, to lead me to believe that she was taking care of it, I would have kept my hands out of it. There would have been nothing else said by me. I wouldn't have even replied. That would have been it. That would be the end of the whole conversation. But because she refused to communicate, whatever her reasonings might be, here we are. Here's the situation we're in. I don't sit there and say stuff like that to people and try to drive home a point if I feel that somebody is handling the situation and is dealing with it and is doing what I feel that they're responsible to be doing. I'd rather take my hands off of it if it's not really my responsibility. I do feel that it is my business, because I'm thinking about her parents, I'm thinking about my parents, I'm thinking about her sister and her mom if she were home, and the people downtown that this oldest daughter was interacting with. She's a risk to infecting all of them. That's how the virus spreads. But now my friend's basically telling me that I have taken a traditional stance on this, that I've bought into what the media said, and I'm left confused. I mean, is COVID really deadly and killing people? Are we dealing with an actual, they're using the word pandemic. Is it a pandemic? Is it really a pandemic? Or am I regurgitating stuff that's not totally the truth? He says there's more complexities to it than that. How complex does it have to be? Either lots of people are dying from a disease, or they are not. It is one or the other. I mean, kind of get what he's saying. There's people dying from all sorts of other things, and COVID is just one that we've all tended to focus on. I get that point. I understand that. But it's either something we take seriously or it's not. I thought it was something we were supposed to take seriously. As far as I know, I was trying to be responsible. My friend tells me that I was acting out of fear or I was being fearful. Now I've got to spend time I don't want to spend introspecting and making sure whether or not that's true. Because if I was responding in fear, and it does seem to be that might be the case, because as far as I understand it, you can either respond in fear or you can respond in love, but you cannot respond in both. It's either going to be fear or love, and obviously what I was doing wasn't loving. The words that I used and the examples and how I talked to the mother was not loving. And I can admit that's the truth. I know that it wasn't loving. WWJD, what would Jesus do? He was harsh when he had to be in the examples we have in the New Testament, but I don't think he would have said half or any of the things that I said, and he wouldn't have been giving into any sort of fear. So I don't know. Now I'm left doubting myself. Now my mom wants me to do this apology thing, and I've got to scrounge up something to apologize for and be honest and genuine about it and have my whole heart in it, and I don't know what I can do other than let the mother know that I did overstep and apologize for that. But what do I tell the daughter? I can't apologize to the daughter for... As far as I'm concerned, she's a self-centered teenager who just wants to continue living life like it's normal, like there's no pandemic and no virus. And now my friend and Teal Swan and other people are leading me to believe that maybe that's perfectly the right response. I don't even know what to say about that. And all I can see is a self-centered teenager who wants to live her life her way and do her thing, continue doing her thing like she's always been doing it, as if nothing's going on at all, as if there's no COVID or anything else going on, regardless of what it might do to anyone else or how it might affect anyone else. That was my impression of her. And I got that impression because she came downstairs, not wearing a mask, not taking any precautions. Both times when I saw her getting into and out of the car, she didn't have a mask on. She did say she had one, or tried to reach in to show me that she had one in the car. I had to leave because the grandfather told me that he wanted me to just walk away, so I did. I gave him what he wanted, but I was not happy about that at all. I do see a pest. I don't know what it is, but I see something crawling on my ceiling. I gotta go deal with it. Anyway, I don't know what to do about this, so I'm leaving this video. I don't know if I'll upload it or not. I don't know if this will be an actual vlog entry. I'm trying to figure out how to handle this. I'm going to sit down and try to write things out and work it out in my mind and figure it out. If you have any thoughts on any of this, just leave a comment below. Any advice or suggestions, go ahead and let me know. I'd appreciate it. I'm going to get back into doing my videos and doing my thing. I mean, after I work through this, that's what I'm going to do. That's what brings me a little bit of joy and helps me get through this. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Okay, well, that concludes this episode. Be sure to leave a thumb up if you like the video. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this or any of my other videos. Be sure to hit that notification icon so that you can be notified when any new videos are released. And leave me some comments, feedback, suggestions so that I can improve and do even better for you guys. Also, please stop by my Teespring store. I've got more designs coming over from Spreadshirt, but this is what I have here right now. I've got 3 cool designs. I got this mask does not equal safe. It's kind of an attitude for everybody trying to make us wear masks right now. I've got this Zen saying and drawing that I did, to reach your destination, embrace the journey. I think that's really cool. I've got a poem over here. Poem says, life doesn't have to be so hard. It has a flow. Sometimes you'll drift, sometimes you'll row, but you get to choose the destination you'll go. I think that's really cool also. So go ahead and grab some of this stuff, and that will support me and help me in my continuing work at YouTube, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.